Hello, welcome to another episode of Swapping Joysticks. The day is, what day is it? It's the 14th of June, 2024. I'm your host, Biggest Bennis, and Twitch person. And alongside me is Ed Nightingale from...
Eurogamer.
Yeah, you are the one, the only.
The journalist person.
The journal. Yeah, you're the authority here that knows what they're talking about.
Debatable.
Oh, so I know what I'm talking about.
Debatable.
Okay. But yeah, welcome. I've just had my hair cut, so I'm a little bit fluffy and shiny around here. But
I've got very red eyes because of hay fever.
oh, great. We are a mess. But anyway, yeah, welcome. We are going to be talking a lot today about the Xbox showcase that was incredible. And also, we've just been playing a load of demos.
Yeah,
so,
it's Steam Next Fest at the moment. So we've both been playing demos, which has been a lot of fun.
It is. It's cool. I like playing demos. I forget how much I like playing demos. But I watched the Wholesome Direct, and there were just so many games there that I thought, yeah, I want to play that. I fancy playing that. I fancy playing that. And nearly every game that they showed, or at least like 50% of them, had demos available. So yeah, I played like a good 5 or 6 of those.
Nice. So we're talking about the future today.
We are. Well, but speaking of not the future, let's talk about the past. How's your week been?
Oh, all right.
What have you been up to?
Too many late night gaming sessions.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very tired. Also, we were out last night.
We were.
Having dinner, which was nice.
Yeah, we went. You had some cock scratchings.
I did. We went to a ramen restaurant
Called
Bone Daddy's.
even worse. Yeah.
You picked it, and they had a ramen dish called Tokyo Cock,
Yeah.
which obviously I then had to have, which came with fried chicken.
Never turn it down with you.
And cock scratchings, which was basically just crispy chicken skin.
Mm.
It was amazing. It was very spicy, but it was good.
Yeah. Yeah. You were sweating a little bit.
A little, yeah. And we had a yuzu margarita on the side.
That was really nice. But no, that was good. I just feeling it a little bit today. I was on the train to get my hair cut and just like dozing off slightly. And then also on the way back. But yeah, I am looking forward to a very relaxing weekend.
Well, ish.
We're not. We're going up north.
Going up north
See Girls Aloud.
in Leeds.
Yeah. I was listening to some Girls Aloud today because, thought that would wake me up a little bit. And I like a lot of the songs, but I've realized I don't really know any of the lyrics. But I think that's with any song. So I'm going to be like, love you. That one.
Oh, no, I don't know that. What's your favourite Girls Aloud song?
Probably going to be basic and say Sound of the Underground.
I mean, it is a great tune.
Yeah. Because remember that it was them and One True Voice. And I think that was their song. And One True Voice song was just a mediocre...
Your sacred trust in me.
How do you know that?
I remember.
That was
watched
terrible.
That season. It was.
Oh, I loved it as well.
Oh,
I bought
those
both.
Are the days.
I bought both.
You can't do that. You've got to decide.
Well, no, I bought both because I bought everything.
Well, that's not making. That was the whole point. Was do you choose the boy song or the girl song? You can't buy both.
I'm sitting on the fence.
Oh, that's pathetic.
Which did you pick? Obviously.
I mean, obviously, Girls Aloud.
Yeah, they won.
It was a far better song.
Yeah. Did they? Yeah, they won, didn't they?
Yeah, by a mile.
In fact, the other one didn't get number 2. I think did it? Was it like number 6?
It was shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think my favorite is the show because I like the should have known, should have cared, should have hung around the kitchen in my underwear, acting like a lady. I just like that bit.
Yeah. Good. Well, you can sing that bit on your own.
I will.
Well, actually, it won't be on your own. I think everybody will be.
Yes, it's gonna be full of northern gays. It's gonna be.
It will be. Yeah. Like my cousin's going. There's like just a friend from ages, and a friend from like when I was 18. And used to go out. Sent me a message yesterday, being like, just because I think I posted a Snapchat story, and they were like, "Oh, how are you anyway?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm actually up next week to see Girls Aloud." And he's like, "Oh yeah, me too." Obviously. So I think everyone's
gonna be there.
Yeah, it's gonna be the place to be. But yeah, I'm trying to think of the other Girls Aloud songs that I know. See, I even quite like Girls Aloud, and I don't know any of the songs, so that's why I don't know any of the Taylor Swift ones. No, I'm not much fan of Love Machine.
Me neither. I don't like that, and I don't like The Promise.
Oh, it's all right.
I find The Promise really dull.
Yeah.
I do like Call the Shots a lot.
Oh yeah, me too. Do you like something kind of ooh?
Yeah. Something kind of ooh.
Okay, yeah, right. Anyway, we're gonna get copyright strikes if not. I'll Stand By You. No. Biology. What was that one?
You can't escape my biology. The way that
I quite like that one. Yeah.
The way that you talk.
Yeah, Call the Shots is good. That was my favorite album.
That's the
that
best
one.
album, yeah.
Sexy No No No.
No. Ba, 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 ba. No.
And the one with Sugar Babes, Walk This Way.
No,
No.
bad cover.
Oh.
The original was better.
But yeah, Close to Love. I don't remember any of these, but I will.
I also like I can't speak French, but I let the funky music do the talking.
So anyway, video games. Do you ever play the Pop Idol game? I rented it from Blockbuster.
Oh God.
You could finish it in like an hour if I remember rightly.
Oh.
It was really easy.
I haven't played it, but I've seen the X Factor one with a really dodgy looking Simon Cowell.
It might have even been that one. I don't know. No, I think it was Pop Idol.
Right.
Because I think they had a Pop Idol the game, didn't they?
Maybe it was that night X Factor then. But yeah, just the one with like the weird looking like cell shaded Simon Cowell that just looks really awful.
I think that was it.
And he looks quite close to that now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what's happened to him? He's like turned into
surgery
a spitting image. Yeah, we should maybe do a stream of that, playing an X Factor or Pop Idol one. That would be funny.
Well, I'd
bet
like
you
to do a
can.
music stream at some point. So
As in,
like music games.
yeah,
So maybe it ties in.
if that counts as music.
Vaguely.
Well, let's go and talk about. We'll go into the Xbox showcase a little bit later, but first, should we talk about the games that we've been playing?
Yes.
Or the demos we've been playing?
We've been playing some demos of games that are not out yet, but will be at some point.
Are you playing a game at the moment that's not out yet?
Maybe.
Oh, okay.
I've played a few this week.
Ooh, which ones are you not allowed to talk about?
Well, I'm not going to tell you what I can't talk about, am I? I can tell you one I have played that I can talk about, and that is Sonic X Shadow Generations, which was shown at Summer Game Fest. It was already announced. They showed it at Summer Game Fest. Lots of people have been in LA playing it.
You didn't get to go, though.
I was not. However, I instead went to the Sega office and had my own little private showing, which was great.
I bet you did.
I got to sit in a meeting room and just sit and play Sonic. It was great.
Was it a Sonic-themed room?
It was a Company of Heroes themed room.
Is that the new crossover?
No.
Oh.
Their meeting, I don't know how much I should say, but their meeting rooms are themed. And they have the Sonic from Sega World. Do I mean Sega World? Yes. Which was at the Trocadero in London back in the 90s. It was like a Sega theme park / arcade that I never went to and always wanted to. And they had like a Sonic statue with him, with a globe above him and sort of with his finger wagging. And they have that in their office, which is very cool. Anyway, so it's a remaster of Sonic Generations that came out on PS3 years ago. It's generally considered to be a really good Sonic game in terms of the modern Sonic games. And it was a sort of anniversary thing where it was recreating famous levels from 2D Sonic games and 3D Sonic games. And each level has 2 acts. One's 2D, one's 3D. And you play as either the sort of classic chibi Sonic, or you play as cool 3D modern Sonic. And it's just a remaster of that, which is nice. But they are now adding the Shadow campaign as well, which is brand new levels based on Shadow the Hedgehog. Based on, I think, mainly Sonic Adventure 2. At least that's the level that I played, was sort of based on that, and had the Sonic Adventure 2 music as well. It works a little bit like Super Mario 3D Land on the Switch, where they added Bowser's Fury as like its own little experimental bit on the side.
I liked that bit.
Yeah, I didn't even play the base game. I just played
didn't either.
Bowser's Fury.
Yeah,
because it was great.
Yeah.
So the Shadow level works a bit like that. Shadow campaign. So I got to play like a sort of a normal level and a boss. The boss was all right, not great, but the main level was fucking awesome. I had a great time. The thing is with Shadow was added in Sonic Adventure 2, which was like early noughties, and it was during that time, which I'm sure you'll remember from lots of other games, that suddenly gaming decided to be mature. And so the idea of being mature was to be edgy and dark and cool. And so...
Is that why I like Shadow? Because I'm edgy and cool?
I don't know if you are, but maybe you like those things. So Shadow is literally just a black hedgehog. And everything about it is dark, and there's like rock music playing, and it just...
Is it black, or is it like... Isn't there like slight red tint
He's
to
black
it?
with like red tints.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he also like skates rather than runs. Which the animation in this is really over the top. It looks really funny. Yeah, it just like playing it completely took, because it's also based on Sonic Adventure 2, which is in that time. It just took me back to like early noughties, playing Sonic Adventure 2, listening to like Linkin Park, and going through that like emo rock phase whilst playing a Sonic game. and it just completely took me back to that, and it was such a nostalgia trip. And like the buttons came back to me immediately from playing Sonic Generations. I got an S rank straight away. I was very happy with myself.
Yeah.
It's just a really fucking cool game. But if you don't like Sonic, you'll hate it.
Yeah,
Which is why you probably don't give a shit. But I am very, very happy with it.
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad.
So that was me this week. I've played a couple of other things on Steam. But,
Nice.
we can talk about your Steam ones first.
Yeah, I'm just going to pull one sec. Now we're back. Sorry about that. We were just adjusting the camera.
Fiddling with knobs.
Yeah, that's right. I taught you how to fiddle with a camera knob.
There we go.
Anyway,
What have you played on Steam?
I played a load of games on Steam because, like I said, I was watching the Wholesome Direct and I just wanted to play nearly all of those games. I don't know if it was just the mood I was in, but I think I've discovered that. Oh, and I'm a cozy and chaotic streamer, Ed.
No.
No,
You're a variety streamer.
we were joking that we watched the Direct and
The Wholesome Direct.
the Wholesome Direct, and it was amazing seeing people that we recognized. Like we saw Iona, who was performing, but there were quite a few people that introducing. Were hosting, presenting. That's the word. That's the other P word. I couldn't, but no, a few people there were saying that they were cozy and chaotic streamers, and I remember when people used to say that all the time, and I feel like it stopped a little bit. But after seeing that, I'm like, oh no, maybe it's back.
It's definitely not stopped.
I just think, what is cozy and chaotic? Isn't that just mean you play cozy games, which is a great genre, one of my favorite genres as well. Like just games that they're not really intense. There's no blood. There's no gore. You maybe don't even lose, or if you do lose, it's just you restart it, and it's not something that you're going to lose lots of hours of gameplay or whatever like that. And it's just kind of more of a chilled and a relaxing experience. But then, like, chaotic, it's like they're in-jokes. They're in-jokes in a community.
It just means you've got a personality.
And, yes.
And isn't that everyone? Well, it should be.
Well, not all creators. Yeah.
I hope so.
The first few years, in fact, even now, I think some people would say I don't. I'm not. Like, I was watching I think it was the Death Stranding 2 trailer, and when that was revealed, I love Death Stranding. If anybody knew, I'm a big Death Stranding fan, if you hadn't known.
Nobody knew that.
And that came up, and I was like, oh, wow, this is amazing. This is great. And there were people in the chat going like, well, I thought you'd be more excited. I thought you'd be jumping around. And I just wanted to say, have you ever watched my stream? I don't think I've ever jumped around at any excitement.
You're not chaotic enough for that.
No, I'm a cozy and boring streamer.
I don't think I'm either.
You're not cozy, no, and
No.
you're not. Well, you are chaotic.
Am I?
You are. I can hear you screaming. Like, I know that you're going to you've beaten a boss from the living room because I can hear you squealing like a pig being roasted alive while, like, before it comes through the feed.
I don't think that's chaotic. It's just overjoyed.
Yeah, it's chaotic like you don't really plan stuff, or there's lots of unplanned and messy.
A messy bitch who lives for drama.
Well, maybe I am chaotic, yeah. Anyway, the first game that I played was a demo for Thank Goodness You're Here. Did I talk about that last time? I can't remember.
I don't think you did.
And the Crush House.
No, because it was... Oh, no, you had, actually.
Yeah, so I think I did talk about that.
Those,
Yes,
because you just played them.
I think I just played them. But well, the other one I played was the one that I'd been wanting to play for quite a while, called The Bookshop. Tiny Bookshop. I can't read it. Tiny Bookshop. Which, I mean, I can't remember the name because it was such a short demo. I'm gagging for more. And it's a game where, if you haven't seen Tiny Bookshop, it is it's a very cute and cozy game where you are managing a tiny bookshop, but your bookshop is on wheels, and you can drive around. Well, you don't drive yourself, but you can choose which part of a town to go to. It opens up as you play, and then you park up for the day, and you open up, and people come and buy the books. And
how cozy.
It is, and there's like there is a management side to it, but it's very... So at the moment, it's very quite whimsical. You just put certain genres of books on you decide what genres of books you put out, and based on how many you've got, there's like a percentage chance that somebody will buy from there, or they'll find the type of book that they're looking for. Because obviously if you've got a million types of one book, there'll be somebody that likes that somebody will easily find a book that they like from that massive selection.
Mm-hmm.
So the bigger selection you've got of certain genres, if somebody's looking for a book in that genre, there's a higher percentage of them walking away with it, and you want to just make money. It's a game where you're kind of lightly,
Capitalist.
well, it's a local business capitalist.
Oh, okay, that's acceptable.
Yeah, you definitely see one of these in Brighton, and you make these, and then people come along and they like what they see, they buy it, they leave, they're happy. You have a little conversation. There's some little mini missions with other people. Like one, I had to go and click on some rubbish to help move something somewhere. And there was another person that was looking for a specific genre of book. But one thing I do really like about it is that when you're putting the books out, so like when you are not open and you're doing the kind of or at the end of the day / beginning of the next day kind of
Counting the coins.
messing everything up, but yeah, messing it around, you can go into a catalogue and you can choose things to decorate your bookshop, your tiny bookshop. But you literally get the books that have been, you get books and you stock up your shelf with them.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll click on the green one for, I don't know what that is, fiction maybe, non-fiction, and then you can like put them on the bookcase or on the bookshelf. However, when you hover over the books, they're actually real books, or they are real they're real books, and they'll give you like a little plot summary or a little blurb, synopsis of what the book's about. And I don't know, I just really like that. And I found my favourite book there, which is Bill Bryson's Notes from a Small Island. And I was very happy when I saw that. And there's lots of other ones. There's like The Martian. I can't remember exactly all of the other ones, but there are lots of different popular ones.
So it's a cozy management game, but it also gives you book recommendations.
It does. And the management is not super... At the moment, the manager it's very easy. You're not going to lose money. I don't think there's a fail state in the game.
Good.
I imagine that this is the kind of game where you just keep playing as long as you want. And maybe there are missions that you then complete for people. But as far as I'm aware, there wasn't a time frame to like complete them. So you just, and maybe it's one of those games that when it does come out early next year, that they might just keep adding bits to it, update it with books.
I mean, there are thousands of books in the world. You could just keep adding in.
Yeah. And yeah, I went to a different place, and it's just like really, like the music's beautiful. I was on the coast, and you could hear the water in the background splashing. It was just a very relaxing game, and actually I loved it. I thought it was brilliant, and I love the art style as well. It's quite
Cozy
and painted. Acrylic paint. Is it acrylic paint?
Everything's cozy.
Is that acrylic or is that watercolor on that art?
I think that's watercolor.
Watercolor. So that was the first game I played. Should we swap? Because I think, should we do your turn now?
You can keep going, it's fine.
Okay, the other game I played, I'm trying to remember. Oh, Albatroz. I'm an Albatroz.
Was that the climbing one?
That was the driving, baby climbing simulator.
Baby climbing?
There was at one point you were a baby.
You climbed a baby?
No, at one point I was a baby that climbed up to get something and then jumped off, but in an attic, because there was a flashback sequence.
Okay.
Yeah, that is...
How the protagonist got their climbing skills.
It's a game about traveling to a hitchhiking area and looking for your, what I presume to be missing brother.
Okay.
But there are a few different types of... there are a few different types of gameplay in that, which I found a bit odd.
Okay.
So there's some parts where you are... I think these are flashbacks. Yeah, well, they are flashbacks. When you're at home, and it might be when you were younger with your brother, or it might be just that morning before you set off on the expedition. But you go around and you have to do certain things, but it doesn't, as far as I'm aware, it doesn't tell you what you have to do. But then when you finish that little segment, it says all the things that you've missed and all the things that you've done. And I didn't quite get that because I was just kind of wandering around and, taking a shower and brushing my teeth, and I had to leave the house by a certain time. So there was that. But the very opening part, you're driving along across this huge open world map, which is very, very beautiful. A bit oversaturated maybe with the colors, but it's very, very pretty. It's very difficult to drive, but that's just me with the controller.
Yep.
So, and then some beautiful music was kicking in, actual, not just kind of background plinky plonky music, but some actual music was playing.
Actual music.
Yeah, no low raw, but in low raw's type of music.
Vibe.
Yeah, that vibe. Then it skipped ahead at one point, and I was just hitchhiking and walking around. And One thing I did really enjoy about it, and I think there is another game that does maybe not the exact same thing, but has a kind of similar mechanic, is I really enjoyed following the maps. So the maps, the journal would open up, and I found out why it was frustrating with the controls, because apparently they're remapping all the controls at the moment, so that's why different prompts are showing for different things, and I was getting a bit frustrated, but they're remapping the controls, so it'll be fixed. But you can follow, in your journal, you get directions on how to get to places and maps. So it says go south to the river, and then follow the river west until you reach a large tree. But then when you get to the large tree, then the journal updates and there's like ticks it off, so you kind of know that you're there. And there's constantly like a story. It takes place in the very bottom of South America, in Patagonia. That's right. And you meet somebody who is local, who is helping you then to find your brother. There's definitely a big twist coming, I'm sure. Ooh. I mean, it's one of those games that's very much, there's obviously a twist.
So it's quite story heavy.
It is very story heavy, but also you can just get lost in the countryside. I think that game will be good as long as the controls become a little bit more intuitive, and there's not just like a different game, because there was a town hub where I was walking around and chatting to people, but there was no journal up there, so I had to go through like the old dialogue tree to find out what I was doing. So as long as it's not a bit like Dave the Diver where it's kind of, a mile wide and an inch deep. Like I'd like, if it's a hitchhiking simulator or a hitchhiking focused game, then I'd want that kind of 90% of the time.
Well, yeah, that's what you expect.
Yes. So the driving was okay, but I mean, maybe I played a bit more of it because I got lost. But and also, yeah. So I don't know.
Whose fault is that, Ben?
That's true. I just hope they don't try and do too many things, because the hitchhiking part and following maps and stuff, that would be a really cool 4 or 5 hour adventure. I don't need it fleshed out with loads of different things, loads of different ideas.
Nice. So you played another game that's set in the mountains as well, didn't you?
Oh, Dungeons of Hinterberg.
There we go. Waiting on this one.
That the one? Yeah. Well, you can talk about it more because I've only played it for a little bit. But I went in. The thing is, I saw the trailer, but I think
you've played about as much as I have.
Okay. Well, I saw the trailer and it just seemed to be inside a dungeon, and I thought to myself, I was like, "Is that really all it is?" Because I like a puzzle, and I like a shrine in Zelda, for example. But I wouldn't want a game that is only shrines. I'd want to go out and see. But there's a town hub that you can talk around. You can talk with people around. There's some beautiful scenery in the mountains, and the dungeons are not necessarily just kind of go into a cave and solve some puzzles. It seems to be a little bit more open and a bit more colourful than that. But what did you think to it? Because I thought I was pleasantly surprised playing that, and I thought that's another thing which Albatroz kind of let down, but Dungeons and Hinterberg, the controls were just so smooth, and the game just ran incredibly smoothly. Albatroz crashed a couple of times, or at least I got stuck, but Dungeons of Hinterberg just seemed really quite polished.
Hinterberg is out next month, so I guess you'd expect it to be at that stage, maybe. I mean, I've always described it as Austrian Zelda, and there is a lot of Zelda in it, I think, but it's sort of modern day Austria. And yeah, you've got your town hub where you have relationships with people and you chat with people, and there's the social aspect of it. And then you go off into the mountains, and it's the sort of adventure, not open world, but sort of open adventure-y sort of areas where you have to solve puzzles and fight things as you would in a Zelda game. And then you go into dungeons. And that might be... So when I played it a year ago at Gamescom, the dungeons were very much a cave in the mountain with minecarts and explosives and stuff, which is very obvious. I'm in a mountain, now I'm in a cave. That was very realistic. Whereas what I saw you play was traveling off into almost an entire different world that felt almost like a Mario Galaxy level, or
that was incredible,
or a Ratchet and Clank level, which was really cool. That it gives that separation, and it gives them a chance to be really creative with what those dungeons are. It was
awesome, that bit. It really was like Super Mario Galaxy. And I don't know, had you got the hoverboard when you played it?
No,
because being able to just have the hoverboard on literally one button, I think you press the right button, and you could then kind of whiz around really quickly. That's something that Zelda should have had. Although actually, no, I quite like the traversal in that. I like being able to, like it being a real mission to get from one place to another. It added to the exploration. But the traversal just was really good fun.
Twilight Princess has a hovering, spinny thing,
Yeah.
which is sort of that. It's very cool.
Okay.
It's like grinding on rails.
I mean, yeah, that's what this is. To get from one like mini round world, pretty much, or one planet to the next, you had to go and do a grind rail. But it was really clever. I liked it, and I want to play more of it. Do you know how long it is?
No, I'd imagine it's. This is a complete guess. I would guess around 15 to 20 hours.
Oh,
I
you
don't
think
think
that
it's
much?
going to be like. I don't think it's a 4-hour adventure. I think there's a decent chunk to it.
Okay.
I think there's maybe 4 different regions, and then each of those regions has multiple dungeons in them, all connected to that central hub. But I don't know for sure. I don't think it's not a super long Breath of the Wild game.
Yeah.
But it's not a quick couple of hours.
Okay, so I thought, like, yeah, well, to me, I'm like, well, if it's 5 or 6 hours, I think I'd have enjoyed it more. If it's 15, I don't know if I would.
I mean,
play it.
I might be completely wrong.
We will see.
I haven't played the demo. I saw you play a bit of it. I haven't played it because I know I want to play it. And I think that's what's good about Summer Game Fest, Steam Next Fest, is with these demos. For me, if there's something I know I want to play, sometimes it's a nice opportunity to just give it a little go. But something like that, it's out next month. I'm like, great, I'm going to just play the full thing. It's coming to Game Pass, so I'll do that.
Yeah.
Whereas something like Tiny Bookshop or Albatroz, like I would never have known about that otherwise.
Yeah.
And it's a nice chance to say, oh, I'll play a demo, play it for 20 minutes and see what I think. And it's sometimes quite opening for something completely new that you would not normally play.
And I really like, even if it's just 10, 15 minutes, like the Bookshop, Tiny Bookshop was only 15, 20 minutes. I think you can replay it again and disable tutorials so that you can do 3 full days rather than like one. I think it was 2 days of tutorials and then 1 day.
Right.
So I think you can go and do and have a bit more. One thing I really like at the end of the demos, it comes up, well, the ones I've played at the end of the demos, it comes up with like a Discord QR code.
Oh, nice.
And on 2 of them for REKA, which I'll talk about in a second, and also Tiny Bookshop, I joined them because.
Nice.
So I think it's a great way of getting people into the community.
Absolutely. And a big wish list thing, because wish list is what helps in developers.
Really is. Do you want to talk about Demonschool?
Yes.
Can you?
I can talk about Demonschool.
Okay, good.
It's a demo on Steam. It is coming out. Actually, it's just had a release date, and it's Friday the 13th. Of September, I think.
Oh,
or is it October? I can't remember. Unlucky for some, but fitting for this game because it's about demons.
I'll find out.
I would describe this game as Persona meets Buffy. So it is set in a school, in a teen school in the 90s. There are lots of 90s references. There's CRT monitors on PCs. There's mobile phones with Snake on them. It's very 90s. Great sort of dark, funky jazz kind of soundtrack. And you're playing as a bunch of school kids out hunting demons, and there are strange happenings going on. A bit like in a Buffy episode. Where
September.
There you go. A bit like a Buffy episode where there are strange demons. And you know in Buffy where all these weird things happen, but no one else in the school seems to know about them. So it's always Buffy and Willow and everyone else. You know, they're involved and they're, you know, looking for the demon or whatever, or the vampire, whatever it is that's going on. But no one else in the school really is involved. Or seems to realize anything's going on. This has a similar thing, although it's part of the story. That nobody knows what is going on, but they're off hunting demons that are just right there in front of you.
Yeah, and it's like, I found that weird with Buffy, where like they don't even know that demons exist.
Yeah. Apart from that one episode where
at the end of the first season, when the principal Schneider gets eaten by the giant snake type thing.
Oh, I forgot that.
Yeah, because it destroys the school.
And then suddenly they have a new principal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Demonschool has sort of a bit of that kind of vibe to it, which I really like. It's also mixed with Persona in that there is a sort of calendary day cycle type thing. So every day is split into 3 parts, morning, evening, and night. And the story takes place over those sections, day by day. It's not quite, you've got a mission that has to be done by this point. It's more just a sort of structural device, I guess, for the story to take place. But you explore different areas of the school and the town, and you just select them from a menu, and you go through and explore them and have conversations. You have your team members that you do side quests with, and you build up relationships, which gives them extra powers and things. I think there are a lot of different characters. The demo only has 4, but I think there are loads to recruit into your team of crack demon hunters. But obviously
Just like
all
the Crush
school
House.
kids.
Crush House only had 4 contestants, but I'm sure there are a lot more.
Yes.
Just like it.
Can
you date them?
I think it's sort of relationshipy. I don't think it's dating. They seem quite varied as well and diverse, which is great. Something that Persona does not have. And then you get into battles. And the battles are done almost like chess on a grid.
Ah, that's why you were failing a lot.
Well, yeah. It's isometric, and the enemies tend to be at one end and you're at the other. And the way it works is that you have to kill a certain number of enemies and then reach the far side to sort of seal. You have to seal the demons away. And your characters can all move a certain number of spaces in certain directions. And they only really have an attack and a special, and that's it. So it's a little bit limited, but I think once you get more characters with more abilities, it will build up in complexity. I was getting a bit frustrated because of that, because you don't actually have a lot of options. But a lot of the strategy is around where you place your characters on the grid and maneuver them around. So say there are like 3 enemies in a row. If you're in the right position, you can actually aim for the one at the back and you will knock them all into one another to do extra damage. And that therefore will kill them off in one go rather than individually.
Yeah.
So you've got to look for opportunities like that as you maneuver around the board, around the grid. So there's quite a bit of strategy in it. And it's one of those things that's quite tricky with a demo like this, where you're thrown in part way and you've got to get straight into battles, and you maybe have... There is a tutorial. I skipped it. Lol.
Oh, wow.
But in the final thing, it will obviously give you a chance to build up your skill in those battles. And it's sometimes a bit tricky in the demo to just jump in. But eventually I did get the hang of it. So I really like the battles. I think there's some nice strategy in there. I think it'll be great once there are more characters. But it just has this really cool, cartoony, 90s, funky horror vibe to it, which I really, really enjoyed. I love Persona games. I really enjoyed watching Buffy. And it definitely feels like those together with a lot of 90s influence.
Will you be playing it when it comes out in September?
Yes, absolutely. I definitely want to play that.
Perfect. Right. Just going to pause 1 second. And another one that I played. Do you want another one?
Give us another one, Ben.
Another one? I have been playing... I played Ebitapes. Is it Ebitapes or Ebitapes?
Ebitapes. I think it's Ebitapes.
Ebitapes.
I mean, it's about cassette tapes, right?
It is. It is about cassette tapes, and it's about mixing, and it's about hearing sounds.
Like that.
Kind of. So you're living in a world where I think you're a frog. Yes, you are a frog. And it's very like hand-drawn art style. There are only like 3 or 4 different colors in the whole palette. It's very stylistic.
Mm-hmm.
But you play as a frog who has just got like a miserable life where there is no music, there's no sound allowed. And
what
there is sound
kind
allowed.
of existence is that?
Exactly. But obviously, you want to brighten it up, and you've found a recorder that can record sounds, and then you use those sounds to mix them together. And yeah, so first I can't remember what the sound is. I think like somebody pressing a button, or the sound of the printer in the office, in the really boring office where you're working. So you record those, or there's one in the bedroom as well that you record, but it's not that kind of sound.
Oh.
But yeah, so you start to build up a collection of just sounds from the world, and they've all got a different... Well, they don't have all of it, but I think there are 3 different colors. There's a blue, there's a pink, and then there's another color which I can't remember at the moment. But when you are there are certain moments where you have to kind of solve a puzzle, and the puzzle will all be solved by a certain type of song that you're making. And you make that song by kind of putting these sounds based on their color on this repeating loop. So it might say that to please this person, you need 4 beats of blue, or you might need 5 beats of a cat.
Okay.
And so you have put the cat on one row, and then you put some other blues on the other row, and whatever that might be just like water dropping, or it might be a sound of a printer or whatever. But it all goes together. It's like, EJ. Remember EJ back in the day?
I loved EJ.
It's a bit like that. So you're dragging the sound effects, the notes. I don't know. You're a music person. You know.
So
this
you're
more.
a Foley artist, basically.
Kind of, but they do have a bit more than Foley. There is a bit of a like tune to it.
Right.
So it's not just like Blue Man Group. You've got a bit of a song to it, and sometimes they'll have a little bit of a backing song. Or like a beat in the background. So it does sound like you're kind of producing some kind of music. Exactly. Yes. So, and it just like you can do it in any way you want, really. So there might be 3 different types of blue block that you can put down. So you can choose. You can alternate if you want. You can put them down. You can
be creative.
You can put cat button. So it's like meow boing, and this just goes on repeat and repeat until you've kind of completed all the requirements that it wants. And it's just very funny, very silly. The stories that there was a person.
And you're a frog doing this.
Sure. There was some kind of, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was a cow or if it was a horse. I think it had a hat on. And it was sitting on a key. And it was very sleepy. And its alarm clock was broken. So obviously you went and found an alarm clock, recorded it, and then played it for them. And then they got up and you could use the key. There is that kind of thing. And there was a person, but like the authority and the angry people there, the enemies, well, not the enemies, but like the antagonists of it are ones that like hate music. They hate sound. They hate hearing anything.
It's one of those.
So if you're trying to, for example, there might be some birds or some insects in the grass and you go near it and obviously they fly away and make a noise. But there's a person there standing there getting really angry that there's a noise being made and you can't record that sound of the animals because they're trying to hoover up the sound.
How dare they?
It's very, very weird.
It sounds very surreal.
It's surreal. It's weird. I had a good time with it. I enjoyed it. It was fun. It took me a while to get my head around the controls as well as the as well as like what I was meant to be doing, because it's definitely a puzzle. It's 100% a puzzle challenge, a puzzle game. But I did enjoy it, and I would definitely like to play it when it comes out and to see how surreal it gets and whether you have to be very, very... Because at the moment, when I was playing it, like solving the puzzles wasn't too difficult, and you could do it in so many different ways. Because, for example, you needed 4 beats of a blue note.
Yeah.
But it became a bit more specific where you needed a specific type of one, but you needed 2 happening at the same time with different rows and a different like backing track, because a backing track is also a different color. So that would have completed a certain requirement. I wonder how complicated it gets and whether it becomes really frustrating or if it just becomes there is only one specific way to complete this puzzle, whereas at the moment there were loads.
Well, I hope it stays as that and there's creativity, because that's what you want from a music game. You want some creativity in there.
And it'll be interesting right at the end, if you do collect all of them, like, can you go and use all the previous sounds that you've got? Or is it just the sounds that you play on one level? There is some kind of like mixing area where you can just play music, play anything that you've already collected and just for fun. So exactly, it's a fun, cute game. I'd definitely check out the demo if you want. It was very short, but it definitely gave you a flavor of what it's like. That's Ebitapes.
Nice. Tell us about REKA.
REKA. So right now, if you go to Steam, in fact, I'm going to show it right now. If you go to Steam, this might not work. If you go to REKA on Steam, there is me playing this game.
Live,
right
not
now.
Live.
It doesn't say live. Oh, it does say live, actually, doesn't it? Yeah. So that I'm playing REKA, which is a witch simulator.
Okay.
And you play as... Actually, I don't know if your name is REKA, but you play as a up-and-coming witch. You can design your witch. Immediately, I gave her orange hair because I wanted her to be Willow from Buffy.
Of course.
Of course.
I mean, the witch.
And then you get plonked into a very kind of Middle Ages style, kind of the Witcher vibe.
Okay.
Witcher. Very kind of swampy area, but there's some townsfolk. and they're like, they're not sure that this witch exists. They're like, oh, she's people call this person a witch, but I don't think she's a witch. I just think she's somebody that mutters over herbs, things like that. And
I mean, we've all muttered over a herb.
I mean, that's what you do. Who dares put coriander in this? Yeah.
Yes, I would mutter then. I would more than mutter.
So you play is that you design your witch, and then or you design your person, your protagonist, and then you have to go through a town and you go and you go and find a witch. You've based on this information that you've got. And then I went to her and I met the old crone and had to go and do some kind of collecting activity. So based on mushrooms.
Ooh.
And beeswax, I think it was.
Okay.
So I went and got those for her. And at the moment, it's a bit like a gathering. It was a gathering simulator where you're going around and collecting stuff. And then we went and did some ritual with a giant egg in the forest, in the swamps.
Well.
And put a chicken there. And she was like, oh, no, the chicken will ascend. I was like, we're sacrificing this chicken, aren't we?
Oh, wow.
But then the chicken, after this... quite fun actually. The way that you're doing the magic, because you've got this like fire magic that you were shooting around. It was very cool. But I did this ritual with the witch, and all of a sudden the chicken and the place where the chicken was the chicken was like inside an oven, but it was outside, and there was loads of like a bit of a house around it, that was like a shack that had fallen down,
like a pizza oven.
Yeah, like a pizza oven, I would say, or like an outside furnace type thing, Anyway, but all of a sudden it just appeared, like it just stood up, and similar to, I can't even think what it would be like, maybe Howl's Moving Castle, it suddenly grew these giant legs, and it turned into this massive, massive, massive headless chicken with 2 legs, and on top of it was the oven and a house that you can then build on, and you can then sit in a special chair and drive the chicken around.
Sounds like Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga is a traditional Eastern European folktale about a witch, and she lives in a house with chicken legs.
That is Baba Yaga, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, I was like, I've heard that word before, and I think I heard that word in the game. So I think actually it is that. I don't know. This was the last game I played of the demo, so my brain was a bit frazzled, but I was like, this is really cool. I had a lot of fun with it. And like as you can see there, and I might even put some of this video up on wherever you see it. But go to REKA on Steam and you might be able to see it. But it was a very cool witch simulator, and I'm interested to see what you do afterwards, because it's obviously a little bit of a building game, because you can like put floors and roofs, and you can design the house on top of the chicken as much as you want. There's no head on the chicken, by the way.
Yeah.
It's just like a body and the house on top. So you can decorate that, but I'm interested to see how you do that. And like, can you build a really tall skyscraper? Does the chicken fall over? Lots of these questions I've got.
There are a lot of questions there.
And yeah, I'm intrigued.
How will this chicken survive without a head?
Yeah, I mean, witchcraft.
Well, that's true.
So
Did the egg come first?
It did actually in this. No, we put the chicken first and then we put the egg there.
Okay.
So yes, it was. Although, do we get? I don't know. I can't remember. Go and watch the stream. But it was. Yeah. So it seems like a crafting game, like a gathering and crafting. But I wonder how many, because there was quite a lot of story in that. But I wonder if that's just the tutorial, because I think that's the epilogue that's the prologue that you play. So I would be interested to see what the main game is like in terms of kind of quests and story. But yeah, that was REKA, which does it even say Baba Yaga? I feel like it. No, channel into which. Yeah, it's
there
like
you go.
Build your cozy chicken-legged hut, practice witchcraft, and forage for ingredients in autumnal wonders. Solve quests and uncover the great mysteries of the legendary witch Baba Yaga. There you go.
I didn't even read that. I just knew that.
How do you know that? Do you do zodiac signs and things as well?
No, it's not that. It's just a folk thing. Yeah, I think it's Slavic.
Oh, well, I'm not from there, so I don't know.
Neither am I, but I just knew about it from games.
Go on, what other game have you been playing? You've been playing Wipeout, haven't you?
No. Don't you dare bring Wipeout into this. I've been playing Aero GPX, which people who know me will know that I am actually a massive F-Zero fan.
I didn't know.
Did you not?
Yeah.
You know I like F-Zero.
Okay, I thought you like Wipeout.
Excuse me. Like, Wipeout's alright, but it's no F-Zero.
Just because it's PlayStation, you're not a fan.
Well, no, I just don't think the handling's as good. And it doesn't have, like, funny cartoon anime characters. So, F-Zero GX is probably my favourite racing game ever. I'm not a big racing game fan in general. You love a racing sim.
Oh yeah, we're gonna. By the way, we're gonna be bringing back swapping Formula Joysticks soon.
Are we?
Yep.
You love it. You love Formula One. You love proper driving sims, which I find dullish.
I love all that kind of
Dull
sim,
as.
to be honestly.
Whereas I like a racing game when you're either throwing shells or you're going really fast. And F-Zero GX gives you that. F-Zero X. Actually, the first one I played, I think, no. F-Zero X was the first one I played, N64. Brilliant game. The SNES one was the original. I played that later. There's a great Game Boy Advance one. And then F-Zero GX was on the GameCube, and it was actually made by Sega.
What does GX stand for?
So I think it stands for GameCube in the sense of F-Zero X was the N64 one. So the original was just F-Zero, as in Formula Zero, because it's faster than Formula One.
Okay.
There you go.
Right.
And then they just put an X on it for the N64 just to be cool. And
I just realized that F-Zero is like one higher than F1.
yeah, exactly, because
Wow.
it's high speed. You're welcome. And then F-Zero GX was the GameCube one, which Sega made for the GameCube, which was a big deal of Sega making a Nintendo franchise. But they made an accompanying arcade game that was called F-Zero AX. So you had GX for GameCube and AX for arcade. And they were slightly different. And it's just the best high-speed racing game. It has an incredible soundtrack of like electro rock tracks. Really cool cast of characters. The tracks are so well made, so well designed. It's all loops and twists and high speed. They have half pipes, full pipes where you're inside it, or a cylinder where you're outside of it going round and round. It's just the best tracks ever. It's an incredible game. The problem is Nintendo have not made a new F-Zero game since F-Zero GX, which was 2004, maybe? We've had nothing since then, apart from F-Zero 99 on the Switch last year, which was fine, but not proper. And so now we have lovely developers making their own games and doing it just as well.
It's like Sonic Mania.
Sure, similar.
If you're not going to make a good Sonic game, we will.
So we have Aero GPX, which is this new game. It's a solo dev called Aaron McDevitt.
Mr. Dev.
I can't quite remember. It's definitely Aaron.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Aaron, if you're listening.
I'll find it for you.
Solo dev making this game, and it is very clearly inspired by F-Zero. Like it just is. The look and the feel of it, the camera angles, the designs of the vehicles. Every vehicle is piloted by this sort of anime cartoon character. And
Aaron McDevitt.
there you go, I was right.
Yeah.
And they all have different stats for, your acceleration and whatever else. And just the feel of playing it, the controls were practically identical to F-Zero. The feel of the cars on the tracks was just identical. So I jumped straight. I mean, you were watching me play it. I played it for literally 20 minutes and was just like, this is incredible. I need this now.
I was actually watching you play.
It was just such a rush to play it. It's so quick. And it does have a couple of its own ideas. The first of which is flight. So that's something that you don't do in F-Zero. Because if you fly off the track, it means you've gone too quick. And occasionally you can use that to jump and make shortcuts, but generally not. This has proper flight where there is suddenly no track and there are sort of air drafts that you literally fly through. But if you go too quickly, you can then use jumps to just cut half the track and go flying off, and you do like a spinning dive thing for high speeds. So there's loads of potential to sort of play with the physics a little bit, which F-Zero's never had, and this does, which makes it a bit more sort of creative, which is fun. Also, it's got the combat idea from F-Zero where you can smack into other vehicles and you lose your health. In F-Zero, you have one energy bar, and that is used for both your health and your boost.
Mm.
So whenever you boost, yes, you get to go quicker, but you're losing energy, which means that you're then more vulnerable. So it's the risk reward of, do you want to boost to go quicker, or do you want to save it to hit people and save your health? This has boost and health separately in separate gauges, and there are separate portions of track to replenish that, which I don't think I like quite as much because it loses that risk reward. But you can still decide then when you're on the track, what do you want to replenish, basically. So that splits out, which is slightly different. But it's got this great cel-shaded aesthetic. It's very anime and cartoony, but really fun. It's so quick. It handles so well. It is literally F-Zero in all but name. And I need it. I need it now.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I think you would enjoy that.
Yes. I need it, please. Release it now. I think there's no release date at the moment.
Okay.
But who knows when it's coming out. But until then, until Nintendo bring out an F-Zero, we've got this. Even just in a demo form, I'm like, this is
You're going
incredible.
to play it again?
Yep.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, I've also been playing a game called Fruitbus.
Of course you have.
And yes,
All aboard.
All aboard the Fruitbus. Went and played that. That was good fun. So you've got like, so similar to the book, to Tiny Bookshop, you have a mobile kind of camper van, but in the back of it, you can sell fruit to people.
Because it's a fruit bus.
Exactly. And it's very, I don't know, kind of like the style reminds
So
me.
are you selling fruit or are you selling fruit?
I'm selling fruit.
Okay.
I was selling apple, I think it was, apples and bananas and things like that.
Okay. Not Twinks.
Not a Twix.
Not Twinks.
Twinks. No Twinks or Twixes. Twy. What's the plural of Twix?
Twixes.
Okay. So yeah, I was playing that, and it's weird. It has a real aesthetic kind of similar to, I can never remember the name of it. What's that game that our friend Moni murdered the lesbian couple in, or the gay couple? The one where Bugsnax.
Bugsnax.
Yes. So it had a similar style kind of aesthetic to that, where everything's a little bit themed around, I don't know, just very, very kind of a very weird looking characters, very cartoony, blobby type things moving around. And yeah, you open up and, well, you go and like the general thing of it is you need to go and collect fruit, and then you serve up and you sell it to people, and you open up. But obviously there's some fruit that you can only get by digging it up, and there's some fruit you can only get through fishing. And
what fruit do you dig up?
Carrot.
That's not a fruit.
I think it is.
Is it?
I don't know, probably is. There's no such thing as a vegetable. That's what I've heard.
I mean, sure.
But yeah, I mean, it's not always going to be that. But yeah, you kind of just serve it. You cut it yourself. There's like a blender for when you're selling smoothies. So in other words, you have to do. It's very much kind of like one of those games that you get more and more advanced as you do the same thing again and again. So you sell a bunch of apple, like some chopped up apple, and then you can buy a smoothie maker, and then you can do apple and banana smoothies if you find as you go to the next area where there are bananas, and you can build that up. But the thing is, the story is really, it was weird actually, because at the very beginning of the story, you're playing as like a little child, a really young child, helping their grandmother, who runs the fruit bus, and
Grandma's fruit bus.
And so it's teaching you like how to collect the fruit and how to cut it. And although I don't know if I cut it as a kid, I think I might have done actually. But then I served it and she taught me how to do this. And then we had
Grandma taught me the ways of the fruit.
She did. And then we had 10 years later. And
is Grandma dead?
Well, Grandma wasn't there, and the fruit bus was in like a scrap heap. So we had to go and kind of,
I think Grandma's gone.
Well, listen. We went to the scrap heap and we managed to get the fruit bus again, because they're going to bring it back, and I'm going to go around, and we had to go around the fruit bus, make friends with people, the people that maybe have had a problem with Grandma in the past, so that then they would be very happy and friendly, and they would come to Grandma's, I think it was like a goodbye party. And then I realized after an hour and a half, on the fruit bus, in the passenger seat was Grandma's urn.
So it's grandma's funeral.
It is definitely grandma's funeral or grandma's wake
dear.
that we're there going to be serving a lot of fruit at, I think. But
Because grandma loved a fruit salad.
she did. And I was just, yeah. So you start off in a area and like you can drive around. You drive your fruit bus around. It was quite fun driving and running people over. Like I'd start reversing and just hear this, ah! And because somebody had got a little bit too close to the fruit bus. You don't actually run them over, but they get angry if you...
Stay away from the fruit bus.
Exactly. So it's one of those that you keep doing the same things and you've got some missions, but you're kind of doing the same things to build up to get better gear or like that kind of thing, you know, like in like a typical farming game.
Yeah, it's a very gamey thing.
Yeah. So the story's been quite interesting so far. Like I'm not quite sure
Clearly.
where it's going to go, but the demo seemed huge. Like I had to stop playing the demo because I was playing it for like 2 hours and I was ready to not play anymore. I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to come back to this, but I don't want to like spoil myself because obviously it's still a work in progress. But yeah, go and try out Fruitbus. It is funny and weird but also kind of addictive. You know, when you're there you just want to, well, like the second you open up, people will come by and like they'll ask for certain things.
Is it better or worse than the Venga bus?
The Venga bus is better because the Venga bus is coming and everybody's jumping and there's nobody jumping in there.
Because grandma's dead.
Yeah. Yeah. The Venga bus doesn't have a dead woman's urn in it. As far as I'm aware.
Okay.
There are no dead people in the Venga bus.
It might be.
Final game, very, very quickly. Minami Lane. That was the one I finished with. And Minami Lane is I would say management game, puzzle game. It is the epitome of cozy, chilled,
And chaotic.
no chaotic in the slightest.
Oh,
Very
okay.
relaxing game where you have a mission. Well, you start off with a street, but the street I think when you start off is just literally one building, and a very, very short street, obviously. And in that building or the two buildings that you get, the first mission, the first tutorial one, it was a ramen place, I want to say, and you can adjust the ingredients of the ramen there, and every turn is one day, and people will come by, they will go and eat the ramen, they'll give their opinion, like, oh, I need more egg in my ramen, or I want less shrimp in my ramen.
Give me nudes with my ramen.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then the next day, so you kind of tweak things until it's perfect for everybody, and they're very, very happy.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
But every day you can spend some money to like add an extra building to the street to make the street longer, and it can be like a park, it can be a house, so you get more people coming by every day and making more money. So it's that kind of management. It's like a turn-based management game, but one with a very relaxing kind of idea and gameplay. I don't think there's any fail state in this. There are some optional things on the quest. Like to complete it, I needed to get like an average happiness of 80% and 15 people on the street and an average of this amount of money being spent in a day. And one of the optional ones is like, do it in 9 turns, or do it with 9 tiles, or do it with 9 extensions on your street. But you don't have to. You can just chill and do it as much as you want, whenever you want. And there's various things like you do little upgrades, but it's a management game, but not a really complicated one. One that would work very, very well on phones, I've got to say. And I wonder if that would be.
I was thinking that this sounds like a great mobile game to just chill with, like on the train.
100%. And it's very blocky and big. Like all the buttons are quite big and blocky, so
really
it would work. It would work really, really well touchscreen. And I wonder if they're doing that because every single day or every single turn, there's a tanuki disguised as a random thing. I think one of them was a Nintendo Switch. Which is interesting because they just 1.1.1 has just come out, and then they've announced the Switch version. So you just click on it each day and you get some money for finding it. But you also have to click on the rubbish. And the art style is very kind of Animals of Farthing Wood, cute, cartoony, but very like the color scheme is very
it's quite
pastel-y and there are only a certain amount of colors. You know, very pastely, but also kind of Japanese in the sense that you've got the pink.
Kawaii.
Well, yeah, you've got the pink, like the blossom that you can have, because you can add like a park if you want to increase the happiness of people. So by doing that, you add a park, but you can change the color of it, so you can have, you know, the pink cherry blossom. And it is a very, very cute, cozy, and calm management game for people who just want to unwind, but yet they do still want to do something like a management game. Because I know I love a management game. That's one of my favorite genres, but sometimes they go a little bit too deep, and you get a bit annoyed, and it's like you need 3 or 4 hours. Whereas this, you can just do, like I completed 2, because once you finish it, you can continue. Like once you complete the mission, you can continue, or you just go to the next map.
Right.
But I just went to the next one after each one. But you can just keep continuing and just make loads of money and decorate everything how you want to, and probably unlock some more types. Like there was the second mission I went on, had an onsen.
Of course.
And you could see them just chilling at the top of a waterfall in there.
Oh.
It was very calm. But yeah, go and play Minami Lane. It's brilliant. It's like £4 something as well at the moment.
Nice.
On Steam. Anyway, that is all the games that I've been playing. Have you been playing any more that you're allowed to talk about?
No.
Should we go into things? Because we've already been on for an hour and we haven't even talked about the news yet. And we've got the Xbox showcase to talk about.
We do. Well, we should ask what people have been playing.
We should do. Let's go and do that.
But I don't think we've got too many anyway.
Okay.
Let me just scroll back through Discord.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to the people, man.
So yeah, tomorrow, if you're listening to this on the day of release, check out Steam between 7 and 10 p.m. UK time, because I'm going to be playing Kingdom Hearts 1 on Steam. And there, at the moment, the people who are on it, who are doing it today, we're getting like tens of thousands of viewers with a lot of hate in the comments.
Oh dear.
Which was interesting. Yeah, there was somebody being incredibly misogynistic, homophobic, and like 90% of the comments were backseating. And I will, if it's like that tomorrow, I don't think it is, because I think they've put some moderation in it now. But if it's like that, anything like that tomorrow, I'm just not going to look at the chat. But next week I will.
Don't do that anyway.
Next week I will be telling you about Kingdom Hearts. Apparently it runs really well on Steam Deck, which is wonderful. Although I'm probably not going to play any on Steam Deck, because I want to do a Let's Play series in the future on Kingdom Hearts. So I'm going to go and save it for that.
And then you can do a lore explainer at the end.
Yeah, with other people. I will make it into a podcast where I'll invite people to talk about it.
I will not be on that, because I do not understand Kingdom Hearts.
Did you play it?
I've played the majority of 1 and the majority of 2, but I've not finished either.
Okay.
And I don't remember a lot of the story.
Great.
Apart from the Disney World, which was great. Capped. Ben's got me into Destiny 2.
Hey!
I never really gave it a fair shout years ago, but now it's got me gripped hard. I do feel overwhelmed with all the things to do, and the onboarding and quest stuff needs to be streamlined a bit for new stuff.
That is streamlined. That's the frustrating thing, that is fully streamlined now. They've put a lot of effort into it. When they brought out New Light, I think it's called, they streamlined it, yet it's still a load of shit.
Yeah. I really am enjoying the gameplay, the uniqueness of each class, and the theme of the world building they're doing. Also, space magic.
Yes,
I love space magic.
The classes are great, and the classes do feel totally different. But I also just love the difference in guns. Like every gun you pick up feels different from the next one, which I really, really enjoy. And I've never found a game other than like Call of Duty, for example. I've never found a game where every gun feels really unique, and especially like the exotic weapons are just completely wild.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you enjoy it. The stories. I mean, well, actually, I haven't finished. I've only just started the latest expansion, but looking at reviews, it's incredibly highly reviewed at the moment. Like 94 on OpenCritic, which is, with 17 reviews, is kind of unheard of. I think that the last expansion I saw with that was Shadowbringers, Final Fantasy 14.
Yep.
Got that kind of score. So, yeah, people are loving it. And I don't know, because I've been waiting for a carry with friends. But I'm tempted to maybe even just stick it on standard mode.
Just learn to play yourself, Ben.
Well, not on the difficulty that it is at the moment. I want to kind of play it. I might just play it on, switch to standard difficulty and go through it, because people are loving it. And what I've played so far, I've really enjoyed.
Nice. Dan Law says, I may be biased, but I adore both Darren Barnett and Gina Torres, but I really enjoyed my time with Immortals of Avium. I'm not sure if Dan is on Xbox or PlayStation, but I'm pretty sure this was on PS Plus a couple of months ago. And I think it might be on Game Pass now.
Well, don't say that in case he's had to pay for it and now he feels shit.
Sorry, Dan. Graphically, it's stunning. Combat is familiar in its first-person shooter roots, but I like how it makes it magic. Fun gameplay with plenty of room to experiment with abilities. The story is slightly predictable, but no less entertaining. Strong performances and great humour throughout. Genuinely laughed a lot whilst playing. Above all, I really like the world building. Would love a sequel, however, unlikely. I've not played it.
No, me neither.
No. I just know that he's the hot guy from one of the Netflix shows.
Yeah, narrowing it down.
And now, one of them. And now he's in a game.
Huh.
The Rob Logan says, I recently played through Little Kitty Big City.
Oh, my hairdresser today was talking about that game.
Which many are referring to as Untitled Goose Game with a cat. The kitty is not quite as malicious as the goose, but there are some similarities. It takes anywhere from 3 to 5 hours to complete, possibly more to 100% it. Whilst there are some minor issues with the precision jumping mechanic and camera, the animations are fantastic, and it's an incredibly enjoyable game for both cat lovers and cozy gamers. Nice. Just those three.
Well, thank you very much for submitting it. Bit of a quiet week, but I imagine maybe next week it's going to be even more with people playing the Next Fest demos.
Yes. Please tell us what demos you've been playing.
Yeah, I know Mr. Wibble, for example.
recommendations.
Mr. Wibble has been playing loads of demos, so I'm looking forward to hearing about what he's been playing.
I'm sure Debs has as well.
Yeah. So let's go and talk about the Xbox Game Showcase Partner Direct.
Sure.
Is that the right one?
Just Xbox Game Showcase.
Right.
But there you go.
Because they're Xbox games now.
Yes. So we talked about Summer Game Fest in the last podcast, which had just happened. And as part of that full weekend, Xbox also have a showcase where Microsoft talk about what's coming over the next year or so. And in general, it was a good show. They had a lot of decent games, a lot of big names, most of which they've bought. But they have a lot of big names coming to Xbox, and they're all games coming to Game Pass as well. So it's a very big advert for Game Pass and to get people to sign up.
And it's been a bit poor the last few, haven't it? The last few have just been a bit bleh.
Well, they haven't really had a lot of games in general. They've been tied up with trying to buy Activision Blizzard for blimmin' forever. And then they laid off a load of people. Good one. So as much as like this is a great showing, it is like, and they needed that to be positive and to come back, with a bang and with bangers. They have still laid off a lot of people and screwed over a lot of people in the industry. So let's also not forget that, as much as it's nice to be positive for once. But there are some really good games.
Yeah, this was a great one.
I've got a list of all of them up, which we won't go through all of them because there's too many.
What would you score it out of 10?
I'd give it an 8.
Yeah. Yeah, I think 8.
For me, there were a lot of... I'm not a massive Xbox... Well, I'm not an Xbox fanboy, just because I've never owned an Xbox. And so all the genres that are coming back are things... they're showing a new Gears of War, and everyone's going wild about it and loving it. I've never played a Gears of War game.
I lasted
so I'm happy it exists, but that doesn't thrill me.
I lasted about 3 hours with a Gears of War game, and...
Not for you?
No, it just felt like kind of, American meathead.
It's very bro.
And it's like the characters are just really chunky. You're like playing as a space marine.
With no neck.
Yeah, no neck.
Square head.
Exactly, yeah. So I didn't particularly enjoy that. It felt cool and squishy and very like blowing loads of stuff up. It was a good stress relief game, but also they announced the new Doom game, which is 10 times better at relieving stress.
Yes. So Doom the Dark Ages, which is set in like medieval times.
I don't know or care where it's set. All I care about is shooting things with skulls. There's literally a gun that crushes skulls and fires the splintered bits of bone at your enemies to shoot and kill them.
Great. And there's like a chainsaw shield, I think,
Possibly.
which has now been modded into the original Doom already.
Wow.
So yeah, that's coming out. That looks cool. It looks just metal as hell. And Doom has always been very metal. But if you think about heavy metal album covers, which are often quite fantastical but hellish, this new Doom game is just that, which looks very cool.
Yeah, it is. Doom is awesome. The first one I didn't really play much of. I didn't massively play a lot of Eternal, just a couple of levels, and then people then I saw like reviews after I'd played a bit and been like, oh, it's good. That's people kind of criticized it a bit, so I never actually went back to it. But maybe I need to finish Eternal. But
I didn't play Eternal, but I played Doom.
yeah, me too.
Yeah, which was great.
It was really good. I think I put it on easy as well and just went around and be like, I am Slayer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way to play.
It is.
Dragon Age: The Veilguard was shown. Now, you've not played a Dragon Age game, have you?
I played a little bit of Inquisition, but it was just after I'd finished The Witcher 3, and I was like, oh, I don't need another one of these games just yet.
Yeah.
And it bored me a little bit. There was a quite boring few quests where you had to go into like a church or something and you had to move around. There was just lots and lots of talking, and I'm like, oh, this didn't grab me.
It's a bit slow.
Yeah, it was a bit slow for me.
So I played Origins and I've played Inquisition. They're not my favourite fantasy games, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people love Dragon Age. I love Mass Effect. And for me, I just think Mass Effect is a superior series, unfortunately. And generally, I love fantasy more than sci-fi. But for me, I really, really loved Mass Effect. So for me, Dragon Age has always been catching up with that a little bit. The new gameplay looks decent, I think. There's been a bit of controversy around the art style.
I think there was with the trailer, because the trailer looked a little bit like a kind of Clash of Clans over-the-top mobile ad.
It's quite cartoony.
Yes, but then the actual gameplay didn't look like that.
No, and Dragon Age is interesting because it has that slightly dark, gritty feel to it, but it's also very silly in places. I mean, this is where you ride the bull in a very tongue-in-cheek love scene. Like, there's a lot of silliness in it, but this art style does a little bit maybe too far into cartoony. We'll see, but the actual gameplay looked decent. I thought it's very actiony, and I feel like similar to Mass Effect, that the first Mass Effect was very RPG with shooting mechanics, and the last one is a shooting game with some RPG stuff in it.
Okay.
And it feels like Dragon Age is sort of making the same trajectory that the original game was actiony. It's not turn-based or anything, but it was quite strategy heavy. You can pause it and make decisions, and this feels a lot more action-focused by comparison, I think. But I still think it looks really good. Like, it looks really beautiful, really detailed worlds. So it seems to be ticking a lot of the right boxes. I think, for me, the best thing about Dragon Age is the relationships with your teammates. We joke about riding the bull, but there's really good relationships that you forge with your teammates, and you can fall in love with them or whatever else. It feels like they're making all the right noises about the teammates in this game. I mean, they changed the name specifically. That's why they did
the
it.
Veilguard.
So originally it was Dragon Age Dreadwolf, Dreadwolf being the bad guy.
Okay.
And they've now changed it to the Veilguard, which is your team, to put the emphasis on you and your teammates and being a team, and that's what you are.
I feel
That's
like it
what
would
they
be
want to push.
better if it was just called Veilguard.
Yeah, same. It doesn't need the.
No.
But yeah, it seems like it's maybe a bit people on both ends for that. But I think in general,
Just like the bull.
I think I keep wanting to say Dragon Quest. I think Dragon Age fans are really enjoying it. I'm really looking forward to it. So
Oh yeah, I'll definitely
I'm glad
play
that's
this.
out.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for something like that.
Yes. Okay, so my favorite one from all of the Xbox Showcase is a brand new game called Clair Obscure Expedition 33, which is...
Is it a Kingdom Hearts game?
No, it's a terrible name. I will say that much. This is a sort of Belle Epoque French Revolution style game. Very fantastical. I think it's something like the story is every year there's some sort of weird fortune teller person that picks an age and everyone dies if they're past that age or something. It's like some weird thing like that. I can't remember exactly. But what really grabbed me is the turn-based combat. But it's turn-based with action. So it's done through menus and you're selecting things. It's really stylish, almost Persona-y sort of stylish. All done turn-based, but you can still parry and block and time your button presses right to do more damage and aim for specific body parts for weaknesses. So it's a real evolution and next step of what turn-based combat is.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people think of it as old school Final Fantasy, where you just hit attack and an enemy and it just does it and that's that. And over time, things like Mario RPG or the Paper Mario games have added more action in there with defending button prompts and things like that. I think Like a Dragon has some of that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Sea of Stars has it as well
Yeah.
more recently. So there are certain turn-based things that have a bit more action in them, but this feels like really action-focused and a really interesting sort of blurring of action and turn-based. So I'm really intrigued to
No
see
date
more
for
of that. That's coming out next year.
Okay.
On Xbox and PC, Game Pass Day 1.
I'm looking forward to that.
South of Midnight, a lot of people were happy about, and I was less keen.
Can't remember it.
It's the sort of swampy-looking one. I think it's set in the bayou, I want to say, but it's got a sort of stop-motion, stuttery.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't like that.
Frame rate
With the alligator and riding the random thing.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that didn't appeal to me.
No. There's more World of Warcraft. Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. We saw more of that. I'm very excited for that. I do love that game. There's been some controversy because people aren't too happy about the visuals because they think it's a bit too realistic because they're pushing the boundaries of graphics, but it's taking away the style of the original a little bit. It turns out they are adding a visual filter, which will make it look a little bit more like the original. And there are two different control schemes, a classic and a more modern one, and you can use that visual filter with either one. So you can have the modern control scheme, but still have sort of a classic filter if you want that look. What else was there?
Flight Simulator.
Flight Simulator was one. I was getting
Got
to
a
that,
date.
yeah.
Very, very excited.
You're very happy about that one?
Very happy. I want to bring back jet streamers. I might even bring back jet streamers before. I'll have to just go and play on the current one or the old Flight Simulator.
Yeah.
But it just looked really good fun. Like there were just so many other different things that you can do in it. We already knew about them, but it was just cool to see them all happening in there. And it is wild how realistic that game looks.
It looks very pretty. Like some of the best graphics because it's so photorealistic.
Yeah, like as a kid, my dream was to play a flight sim where it looked really realistic. And now I have it.
Can.
Yes. But also you can do things, you can do missions. I'd love that. And I don't know how detailed it will be, but I'd love there to be like a career mode where you could be a pilot and you actually do go and fly from place to place, and you have missions. Like there's, for example, they do it in Elite Dangerous. There's the kind of contracts and stuff that you take and you deliver from one side to another, so you can have like a cargo plane or I don't know. There are lots of options, and I'm interested to see where it goes. And I wonder if people can modify like missions and modify stories, which I'm pretty sure they do on the original already, because there's quite a big modding scene there, which they sell. But it would be interesting just to see how much of a, not a story, but like a career mode you could have in that. But no, I loved all the look of like was there like fire search and rescue. So there's helicopters for the first time, but you can go and kind of rescue people on mountains, and I don't know, it just seems really, really good fun, and it, like I said, gorgeous, absolutely stunning.
Nice. The other one I'm really excited about is Perfect Dark.
Yeah, that's piqued my interest.
Yeah, Perfect Dark, if you're unaware of the original, it was a sort of spiritual sequel to GoldenEye on the N64. It was made by Rare, and it was them using the same engine and the same gameplay, but doing it in this futuristic, cyberpunky, sci-fi thriller where you're Joanna Dark, the secret agent. So it was a sci-fi spin on GoldenEye, basically, but it was incredible. But it was also very silly. There was Elvis the Alien, because you went to Area
51?
51, that's the one. And you meet this little grey alien with a big head, like very silly alien style, called Elvis, because of course. So there was a lot of silliness, and every gun had a secondary function to it. So my favourite was the laptop gun, which was literally a laptop that morphed into a like machine gun, and its secondary function was you could leave it as a sentry to automatically kill enemies for you, which was really helpful in multiplayer. It was great. I loved that game. And Rare then released a sequel on the 360, which changed Joanna Dark into this weird anime cartoon character. It had sort of strange third-person bits, and it wasn't very well received. And since then, there's been nothing else. Now, this new game is being made by a different developer. Microsoft owned the rights to it. It's not Rare anymore. New developer. and it's like a complete refresh. It's a complete different take on the character. To me, watching this, I was like, this doesn't feel like Perfect Dark. It doesn't feel like what the N64 game did, but it still looks really cool. It's very, again, spy thriller, lots of gadgets, lots of stealth. She has all these different abilities. She can do parkour as she's running around. But it's set in Egypt, I believe. Sort of slightly near future Egypt. And again, secret agents and stuff like that. Whether it's got aliens in it as well.
You'll
I
go
don't
into the
know.
pyramids and find aliens in the pyramids, won't you?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's been sort of rumors that it's not been in good development shape.
Okay.
We saw a teaser for it about 3 years or so ago and not heard a lot since. So this was a real surprise to see gameplay, and it looks great.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy that's there. I think we still don't have a release date.
No.
So that's still a ways off, but I'm very excited that is on the go.
There's Indiana Jones that looked great.
Yep.
Looked really good. People seem to be very happy with that as well, which is
That's out this
unusual.
year.
Yeah. That'll be a good, I think that might
That'd be a good Christmas game.
win it for Xbox.
Do you think?
Yeah, because what does PlayStation have later this year? Is Astrobot this year or next year?
This year.
Oh, okay. Is it going to be Astrobot versus Indiana
I
Jones?
think so.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I will happily play both.
Yeah. I'm more excited for Astrobot, but
Just based on they've never missed with an
Okay.
Astrobot.
I know. But I mean, Indiana Jones looks
Yeah.
great. It's just I'm not I've seen the films. I've seen them multiple times. I'm not a huge super fan, so I'm just less fussed by the style of it.
Do you hear that they've added extra stuff to Astrobot?
Yeah, the first one. Yeah,
Yeah,
the new
the
trophies.
first one.
As in the first PS5 one.
Oh, okay, yeah. Not the VR one.
No. Another similar game that they showed a bit of was Fable, which again I wasn't expecting to see it.
I wasn't. It was weird because if they said Fable and Dragon Age are coming out, which one do you think would look a little bit more cartoony? I'd have gone for Fable. But no, that one looked more realistic. I wonder if that people playing Dragon Age would be like, hey, can we get those graphics? Because that looked really cool. I am thrilled by Fable. In fact, I was very tempted to... in fact, I think it's just gone on sale. I'm very tempted to play it on Steam Deck because it's just a fun game to kind of kick back and chill with because just the humor. There's like, the character, the voice acting. Is Stephen Fry in it? Or at least some British actor.
What, the original one?
Yeah.
Yeah, Stephen Fry,
Yeah.
I think. Or, yeah.
It's just a generic British actor.
Maybe, yeah.
Hugh Bonneville or someone like that. But, yeah, Fable... Oh, wait, no, this one is Richard Ayoade, isn't it?
The new one is, yeah.
Yeah, shame. Because he's a big fan of Graham Linehan. Peter Dixon. Oh, actually, I don't... In the original, I don't think that there are any names that you might know. I think maybe Fable 2. Let's have a Fable 2 voice actors.
I mean, it's definitely that vibe of very British humour.
Stephen Fry's in the second.
Oh, there you go.
And James Corden.
Oh.
Do you know James Corden's in Fable 2?
Who does he play?
No idea. Probably someone annoying.
Yeah.
And in the third one, Ben Kingsley, Stephen Fry, Simon Pegg.
Wow.
Naomi Harris.
Wow. Yeah, she's Moneypenny
In James Bond.
Yep.
Oh. Michael Fassbender.
What?
He's in Fable 3. Who plays Logan.
What?
Zoe Wanamaker.
Oh yeah.
Bernard Hill. Nicholas Hoult. John Cleese. Jonathan Ross.
Wild cast.
I did not know that. Kelly Bright. There are... Wow, okay. There's so many names in that one. That is incredible. And it's a shame that it's not the best game ever.
Yeah.
That got a... Oh, and I mean, it got on Metacritic, it got like an average of 80. 75 to 80. 75 on PC, 80 on 360. So actually, it's not that bad.
No.
Edge gave it a 7. Eurogamer gave it an 8, which is 4
go.
stars, which is like essential.
There you go. I think it just wasn't as good as the previous ones, but I haven't played
Fable
them,
2 is, I
so-
think, one of the peak games.
Yeah. Just very quickly run through some others. There was Mixtape, which is a new Annapurna game from the
Yes.
developers of
A game called Gorogoa,
No,
Edith Finch,
sorry, I scrolled past it and now I need to go back to it.
Cassette Beast.
Oh, it's not even there.
Do you want me to find out? Mixtape.
No, hang on, because there's another. The Artful Escape. There we go.
Okay.
Which I played on stream.
Oh, you can't remember it.
No. There was that. There was a whole thing on Call of Duty. I didn't even watch it because
I did. I loved it. You can play as Margaret Thatcher.
Can you?
No.
No.
But it's all set in the Cold War. It looks good. I love a game that's based on like a real time in history. You know me. I love a simulation. I love a real game.
But I don't trust Call of Duty to do a good job of it.
Oh, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like Call of Duty. I treat the campaign of Call of Duty a bit like a roller coaster. It's a bit like it's giving you an experience of something and plonking you in there and putting you in like severe pressure, or it's putting you in a, like it's putting you in a real place, but like maybe in the middle of a war or something like that. I don't know. I quite like my favorite mission ever is the one in Pripyat, where you are in the ghillie suit.
Oh, that one.
Sneaking around. Like that was, I remember playing that and I'd not heard anything about it. So I'd just gone in completely. And I just remember being like, that was the coolest thing ever. Because I would love to go there. I mean, obviously, absolutely would not like to go there right now because I think it's under Russian occupation and obviously all of the radioactive stuff. But just being able to go there in a simulation in a video game was so cool.
It's just a bit too like war bros for me.
No, that's Gears of War for me. Yeah, well, I don't know. I feel like Call of Duty's made by decent people.
We hope.
I get that. Oh no, I get that impression.
We hope. Avowed, that's coming out this year. Still doesn't have a release date.
Is that the one that you can play in third person or first person?
You can. It's Obsidian, who make very good RPGs. This looks fun. It looks fine. I don't think it's standing out enough for me. I don't think it's got the personality of a Dragon Age or a Fable.
I don't know. I haven't played it.
But, that's coming out this year, so that's something to look forward to this year. Atomfall, which is basically Fallout in the UK.
That looked great. Brexit simulator.
Yeah. Assassin's Creed Shadows, which was later showed at the Ubisoft showcase, and 50% of it was bad and 50% of it was good.
The bad part was when you were playing not as an assassin, as just somebody swinging around a big axe, and the good part was the one where you're sneaking around like an assassin.
Precisely.
Yeah, I think I will be playing most of the time as the female protagonist.
Yeah. And then, they end up
just
with
for the
War.
gameplay, because it just seemed kind of sneaky and cool.
It's like proper shinobi in the shadows with shuriken. Like, that's what I want from a Japanese assassin game.
Just hope that you don't... I hope it's not a little bit like games where you are forced to play as both of them in certain areas, but if you've only played as one, then the other one's like really underleveled. I just hope it's not like that.
I'm guessing that it might be that certain missions you're forced to play as each, and you have to alternate based on the story.
Yeah, no, I said that's fine, but I just hope that if I decide I hope that the vast majority of the missions you can choose who you play as. But if I am playing as the shinobi for the majority of it, I hope that doesn't mean that the other character is then very underleveled for when we do a main mission.
Maybe.
I hope it doesn't try and encourage you to play as both, like outside of the forced missions. We'll see. I might be just getting...
Again, that's this year. I think that's going to be a big seller.
I think it will as well. I'm just a bit worried that Ubisoft is like, hey, you can play as two different types of characters, where I don't know, when Ubisoft go a little bit different and they try a new thing, they often fail.
Oh dear. Like
with Watchdog Legion. Such a cool idea. In practice, not so cool.
Yeah.
We'll see though.
Interesting. Well, that was the best of Xbox, basically.
I'm looking forward to playing games on Xbox.
Yeah, there's some good stuff there.
Yeah, and then Call of Duty is going to be on Xbox and on PC Game Pass on day one, which I thought was really cool.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, like I've always bought Call of Duty games, but this will be the first one I don't buy. I play it on Game Pass.
Mm-hmm. I might even play it in that case.
I mean, you enjoyed that bit, that mission where you had to help me because you were sneaking around in the water.
I don't mind doing single player Call of Duty for a bit.
That's the fun
it's just a bit of a silly film. I don't take it seriously.
Yeah. And I even like the multiplayer because even if you suck at it, you still like make progress with what you're doing, and then your guns get a little bit higher level. And there are people that kind of just play it and level up certain guns, whereas I'm like, I will like this gun and I like this weapon, I like this, and I'm only going to play as these, get them to like the max level so that they do a bit more damage, and then I'm not terrible at the game. Like I've played Call of Duty and finished top on my team and like won the thing.
I do not wish to be screamed at by children.
No,
not for me.
It prefers the other way around.
Props.
All right. Well, that was it. That was the Xbox showcase. Was very happy with that. Next week is the Nintendo one.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, we're basically at this point we've had everyone do a showcase apart from Nintendo, so it's like, well, we're sat waiting. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, really. Yeah. Did we get a release date for Plucky Squire?
No.
Shame.
Still this year, I think, but no release date yet.
Cool. All right. Well, I will let you know next week about Kingdom Hearts on Steam. Well, actually not on Steam Deck on Steam, but not Steam Deck because I'll play a little bit of that. Not sure what else I'm going to be playing. Oh, I'll be playing a bit of Shin Megami Tensei V. What's it called? Vengeance. So I'll be playing a little bit of that and hopefully be able to talk about it. But other than that,
I mean, there's a very big date next week. It's next Friday, the 21st of June, is the release of Shadow of the Erdtree, the Elden Ring DLC.
Are you excited about that?
I am frothing.
I can see.
Yeah.
Are you going to be able to talk about it on the 21st?
Props.
Okay.
Well,
yeah. Stay tuned. Well, don't stay tuned because we won't be releasing one for another week. But yeah, tune in next week and find out. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it and you want to go and check out all our other podcasts that we've done in the past, if you want to go and catch up on any of them, we do I go and write in the description all the times where we've like switched to whatever game. So if there's any game you want to just kind of flip to and see what we thought, you can do that. But go to swappingjoysticks.com, click on the YouTube button or click on any of the other buttons if you want to go and follow us on any of your podcast players. But thank you very much for watching. We will be back next week. Ed, where can we find you?
You can find me at ed_nights.
And I'm Biggest Benus everywhere. So thank you very much. And we'll see you next Friday for some more joystick swapping.
Hey.
Bye.
Bye.